Oh, that's so much better. Okay, so today is my 4th full day in Penang, and you might be wondering why I've decided to stay in instead of go out for the day. Well, I didn't really feel well yesterday or the day before. I had a massive headache and a stomach ache, so I feel like it'd be best if I have some rest today. I think I felt the best on the first day, so if you notice a drop in quality from the vlogs after that, then that's why. Maybe the first day killed me because I was out from 8 AM to 11 PM, so that made me feel more shit in the next few days. Anyway, I leave Penang and I go back to Kuala Lumpur around 12 or so, a little bit over 12 tomorrow. My flight's around 2 something. But I'm basically free for the rest of this week. My friend had to leave early. He had to leave like yesterday, if you saw, because he still has work. But I finished work, you know. I finished my internship a week before his. So it's weird, but I mean, that's how it is. And yeah, I mean, if you don't know what kind of work I do, you know, I'm not going to explain it here. I explained it in my past videos. I was going to go to Langkawi today as for a day trip, but I decided against that once I realized that the flight timings were really bad for Langkawi day trips from Penang. You know, the ones that I checked, the flight leaves here around 12:30, and then it's a round trip. So on the way back, it'd come back around 3. So I mean, I'd only have like around 3 hours, 2 to 3 to 4 hours on the island, so it's like, you know, there's no point. What would have been better is if I booked a room there, you know, and stayed there overnight, but I didn't do that, so I'm not going to waste my time and my money to do that. I could take the ferry, but 5 hours total and coronavirus. That's all I'm going to say. So today's video will just be a recapping video, telling you what I've basically learned over the last almost 2 months that I've been living in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur specifically. It's been really fun. I mean, time just seemed to fly by. Seriously, it does not feel like 2 months at all. I mean, this has been the longest that I've been overseas and away from my parents, away from home, and I honestly haven't really felt too homesick because I've been working, and that takes a lot of time and energy out of you that, you know, you go home and then you just sleep and then the next day. So it's crazy. I mean, before this, the longest I've been overseas is 5 weeks in China. And legit, that feels longer than here. Maybe because if more things happen, then it feels like longer because you have more experiences. But since I've mainly been working these last 2 months, it feels like I really haven't really done much, you know. But anyway, here's some of the things that I've learned while living here so far that I kind of want to share with you guys who might not really be familiar with Malaysia that might find this interesting. Okay, number 1. Malaysia is a cash country, which means everywhere accepts cash, but not necessarily card. Most of the mamak stalls, which is another name for street food stalls, all of them mostly accept cash, you know, they don't really accept card. But most of the more modernized places, such as the supermarkets, hotels, and restaurants, they accept card. And speaking about card, when you touch on, like when you tap, they call it wave. Like, I'm used to it, like, being back at home in Australia, I just say touch or tap or card, you know, when you want to tap on. But here they call it wave, which is kind of interesting. Kind of took me by surprise at first. Now moving on to food. Some people here eat with their hands. I feel like this is mostly outside of the city though, like where it's less modernized, less developed compared to the actual city where, everything's more clean and modern. Outside the city, like where I live and in Batu Caves, it feels more like a village area in a way. It's like the countryside, like I guess people are less, they're more used to their traditional ways, I guess. I kind of wish that I was living in the city, but I didn't really have a choice or a chance to say because it was my internship provider that hooked me up with the place. So it was actually a pretty interesting story because before actually going to the city, I was like, you know what, maybe I won't come back to Kuala Lumpur. But after visiting the city, I'm like, you know what, I would definitely come back. It's just like I would choose a spot to live in the city. And it's fairly cheap too. There's another thing about Malaysia. It's very cheap. Especially in the city. You can get a 5-star hotel for like 3 times less the price that you would get somewhere else, for example, in Singapore. Okay, don't get local food from the big franchises here in Malaysia, such as Papa Rich or Nasi Lemak from McDonald's. I love Papa Rich back at home, but personally, I've never tried them here. Well, I did try the Papa Rich once in the airport. It wasn't too bad, but I mean, it definitely wasn't better than the one that I had back in Melbourne. But I heard that everyone here in Malaysia, the local people have said that those type of foods are like the worst. If you want authentic Malaysian food, go to the mamak stores where they serve more of the authentic food, local food, and for a cheap price too. And that's another thing. I've also heard that Malaysian food in Western countries get dumbed down to, a way to make it appeal more to the Westerners' palate. And I feel like that makes a lot of sense because I really like Papa Rich back in Australia and I was really looking forward to eating the Malaysian food here. But for the most part, for the first couple of days or weeks, I didn't really get too used to the food here. And that's the thing, here they don't hold back. The spicy food is really spicy, the local food is really authentic, and foreigners like me, don't expect to get used to the food at first here, basically. For me, my most favorite food here so far has been the nasi goreng USA. Yes, they call it the USA here. When I first started eating here, I was eating with my coworkers. They told me and showed me the things that might appeal to me because I really did not know, what to get. And that's the thing. In mamak food stalls, you don't really get a menu, Most of it is like pictures on the walls showing you what they look like, but not necessarily explaining what they have. And also, they don't, mamak food stalls, they don't really have tissues. Like, some of them do, but most of them don't really have serviettes or tissues readily available, so you have to ask. But yeah, the nasi goreng USA, oh man, I could eat that forever. I'd give that, at its best, a 10 out of 10. It's basically what it is it's fried rice, kind of like spiced rice in a way, with a fried egg on top, and on the side there's it depends which protein you want, but there's either chicken or beef, and it's in this kind of sweet and spicy sauce with chilies on top, and it's actually really, really good. Like, you mix the sauce with the rice, and it just tastes really good. I was surprised. Now, in terms of my favorite drink here, you know what? 1 second, let me get it. Oh, okay. So, this is my favorite drink. Okay, so I briefly explained it. Well, I didn't really explain it, but I briefly talked about it in yesterday's vlog. But what it is it's a mango drink mixed with aloe vera with some kind of coconut pieces in it. Like coconut jelly, I mean. There's some sort of jelly in it, not coconut pieces. But this, oh man, it's so good. It's probably one of the best drinks I've ever had. It apparently has vitamin A, C, and E in it. But this mango drink with the coconut jelly, I don't even think it's coconut, but it's some sort of jelly. I don't think it's aloe vera jelly either, but it is a mango drink infused with aloe vera with some jelly in it, and it is so delicious. They also have other flavors, such as the apple one, and the lychee one, and a lot of other like strawberry. I don't know, but I tried the apple one. I tried the lychee one. This is still the reigning champion. But this drink with that, the nasi goreng USA, I'm gonna miss those. I am seriously gonna miss those because those are one of the best combos. Well, I guess not really combos since I haven't really had them together, but those are definitely my favorite food and beverages that I've ever had. Hey, I'm not even a big fan of Malaysian food. Whenever I go to Pub Rich, I just have the Hainan chicken or the curry laksa. Satay is another thing that's really good here, but I just unfortunately haven't had the chance to have it. But anyway, moving on. The mosque guy. Okay, this guy, where do I start? Okay, I know this is a cultural and religious thing, but every hour, not every hour, but certain times of the day, sometimes not even on the next day, sometimes not even on... But anyway, like, there's this one guy who keeps seeing or doing some religious chant, like something like that. But this guy, it's some Muslim thing. I don't know what it is, but there's always this loudspeaker that plays next to my apartment at certain times of the day. And it is, over the last 2 months, it just makes me want to kill myself. I just cannot stand that. I just can't. And I even heard it in Penang like a couple days ago. But anyway, I mean, fuck. Okay, this guy, okay, it's not even that bad, but the thing is, he has woken me up at 5 or 6 a.m. when I'm trying to sleep, okay? And I have work, and that just, when you wake from that, that just really just pisses you off, seriously. I can't live with that, seriously. I bet most foreigners will feel the same way. Okay, it's kind of like a loudspeaker. It's some guy in a mosque and some guy replays it, but it's not in every area of Malaysia. It's not in every area of Kuala Lumpur, but it just so happens that there's a loudspeaker directly next to my apartment. Okay, here in Penang, yes, I said there's, but it's in the kind of northern part of the city. I'm in the east, so here I can't really hear it. I did hear it when I was at the Rainbow Skywalk on the top of the Kumta? I don't even know what it's called. But the tallest building here, and also Penang Hill, or the temple area. But yeah, it's so annoying. Okay, so the last thing I learned while being in Malaysia is that there are very strict laws in terms of drug use and pornography. So if the police catch you with weed, yeah, it doesn't even matter what amount. You're either getting beheaded or 10 years in jail. And yeah, also no pornography. But if you use a VPN, and nudity is sensitive movies, you know, even art. Like, I was watching Birds of Prey, some arts got censored. Okay, I think that might be it. There might be more, but this is off the top of my head. Oh yeah, also Grab, okay, I'm just gonna briefly touch on this, but it's very convenient. Grab, you can order food on it, you can order transport in it. It's basically Southeast Asia's Uber, just much more cheaper and affordable. And I've been taking that, you know, Grab transport. It's so easy. You just wait for the guy for around 5 minutes. Sometimes he's an idiot and you have to wait 20 minutes, but the food, it also comes very convenient in like 10-20 minutes. And yeah, I mean, I really like using the app. Definitely get that app if you plan on going to travel around Southeast Asia. It's so convenient, but public transport obviously is cheaper. But think about it, it's Malaysia. Everything's cheap. Grab, I mean, definitely isn't the most affordable, but is relatively cheap compared to Uber. Okay, would I live in Malaysia though? I don't think I would, just because to me it's still a foreign country. So people, you know, when I think of foreign countries, people still speak people's main language is still different than English, you know. Like here, you know, they speak Malaysian, Malay, you know, some Chinese, some Indian, whatever. They have a mix, right? But I would live in Singapore just because Singapore people mainly speak English, you know. It feels more westernized, you know. And I need to be like, to me, for me, and for a lot of other people, Australia is a really wonderful country to live in. You know, it's very safe comparatively. Um, the weather's a bit of a hit or miss, but it's relatively clean as well. And to me, it just feels like home. So I wouldn't really live in Malaysia because I'm used to the westernized culture, or the way that I used to live, basically. And also the fucking loudspeaker and the mosque guy. Okay, no, nothing against them, nothing against religion. I'm just saying, to me, you know, put all that shit aside. To me, I just think it's annoying. Okay, I definitely don't want to get waken up 6 a.m. every day. That's not for me. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video and learned a bit about Malaysia and just what I've gone through the last couple of days. This is just like a recap of Penang, and basically the end video that you will ever see. Actually, I don't think it'll be the end video, but it'll be one of the last videos you see of me talking about Malaysia, because I am leaving soon. But anyway, this is part 1 of the video where I just talk about my, you know, recapping Penang, recapping what I've been through in the last couple of weeks here in Malaysia. So stay tuned for part 2, where I plan on exploring this hotel to the fullest. So see you then. Yeah, this room has to be one of the most interesting and probably best rooms, hotel rooms that I've ever stayed in. Okay, here is the most interesting part of this hotel, by far, is the shower. Look at this.